All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we're gonna do a dedicated view on high tide, the earnings, and the reaction. All right, I realize that I'm putting this as a knowledge center. I think that this far supersedes this single stock. This is a repeatable learning moment. All right, and you hear me say it all the time. I say it for blue chips, I say it for pennies, and everything in between. Earnings are crazy. Earnings are crazy, and trying to guess the reaction of earnings I feel like it's a fool's game, and I say that with love. I'd never call any of you fools, right? But I have seen great earnings get bad red candles. You can arguably say we're looking at that right now. I've seen horrible reverse split full of death, horrible earnings get these like 80%, 300%, these wild green candles, right? So I'm gonna go over why I do believe this was a good earnings for high tide. It really was a good earnings on the last call as well. You can see on the last one about 3 months ago, it dropped pretty hard. I don't know if it's about to repeat itself in the just the most annoying part. Both broke earnings per share expectations, both destroyed revenue. Like this, they were good earnings, and I'm telling you, the market reaction matters way more than our simple human opinions. All right, so I'll take us into the fireplace. I'll go over some thoughts in my head, and then I'll come back here to tell you what these colorful lines, what these technicals are telling me. All right, but before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? Let's get into this, and I want to take us, where is it? Right there. I want to take us into the fireplace. So look, excuse me. I'm obviously going to talk about high tide specifically, but one more time, everything I'm saying here, I sincerely believe echoes on every other stock in the market, whether it's a blue chip like Tesla, Apple, Amazon, whatever, whether it's a penny stock in crazier sectors than this, or anything in between, right? One thing I like about technicals is you can kind of make them meaning all the stock, like literally every single stock in my eyes is equal because of my technical analysis, right? I only care about, did you break the line, did you lose the line, how does everything else look? And I can do that any stock, any sector, blue chip, penny, in between, right? To try to do the same thing with earnings, what I do is I focus on 2 things, arguably 3 things. All right. Number one, and always number one, is EPS, earnings per share. All right. Number 2, I look for the revenue expectations. And my number 2.5, sometimes 3, is what do the operating expenses look like? All right. Now, earnings per share, EPS, is the most important thing in my opinion, and I think arguably in most people's opinion. All right. There is always a fundamental expected EPS, and it's up to the CEO and the CFO to get on the microphone every 3 months and say, hey, this is what they expected, this is what I dropped. All right. And for, I think, 5 consecutive ones. Maybe that's wrong. I know for a fact for the last 2, because I was tweeting with Raj. They have beat and very well beat EPS. So on this last earnings, High Tide provided an EPS of 1 cent. So they had a 1 cent earnings per share. The expectation was they were gonna lose 3 cents. So they actually made a 4 cent increase on what should have been a 3 cent loss, right? The 3 takes up the 3 to 0. That 1 extra on the 4 takes us to 1. So they destroyed earnings per share. That I know it only sounds like a couple pennies, but that's a really big percentage swing right there. All right, and that's a big good one. The next one was their sales. They got 131 million sales, and that was expected to be 127. All right. They hit record revenue. Their profitability streak continues. I mean, there are so many good headlines. And listen to me, I like to call myself an educated human, all right? I'm sure you're an educated human listening to this video, right? I know you're seeing the same. Let me just take us to the Discord really quickly, all right? I searched high tide yesterday right away, 5 minutes after hours. Good earnings. Boom, a little bit after. Anyone else seeing it? Boom, I quickly saw it and I quickly liked it, but I know I said it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, I hate when. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Regular hours matter more. All right? Regular hours matter more. We've seen pops turn into dojis with high tide, and especially after earnings. And again, I think that's kind of proving itself right now. But believe me, literally minutes from when it dropped, right after, and even today, I'm sorry, I didn't even show it. Look at this morning, the high tide pop. I saw it. I was actually starting to get excited that maybe we would hold some good reactions, right? Like, believe me, educated humans seeing these simple to read headlines that make you think good educated things. The market is not an educated person. The market is an irrational beast that really is so unpredictable. And truly, to try to put reason to it, to try to blame manipulation, to do anything other than accept the erraticness, I think to me is a fool's game. And I'm not here calling anyone a fool. You know, that is just an old saying, right? But it's too crazy to put a not everything is black and white. Man, this thing's not even gray. It's on a different like prism of colors. You know what I mean? So I can't stress enough that our educated opinions mean nothing. All right. So with that, I'm gonna move into the actual charts. All right. So around 750 is where I'll do it. 753. Cool. So coming into high tide, look, you know I'm never here to brag about my lines, right? I for sure care about these moving averages more because they're computer generated. These are just some lines that I tell you, I'm not even trying to draw them perfect. I'm just trying to draw them good enough, right? As nice as it is, and you hear me say it all the time, you break all five and you fly, right? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even today, no, today we lost one, right? But 5 candles were definitely over 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 of the moving averages, but it just wasn't enough. We also had positive MACD. We also had RSI. We had good green over red, still a healthy number, right? Oh man, I start up here for a reason and I talk about breaking them well for a reason. We just couldn't get over that line, let alone that 250 line that you know how important is. And I've been talking about that for a while, right? But yeah, it's nice to be over lines. It's nice to be over all 5. It's significantly different than breaking all 5 and confirming a break, right? Even the first candle over the 5th one was basically a doji, let alone the other 2 green ones behind it, right? You know, red ones never count, right? So disappointing to see that it didn't get over the line, but even if it did, none of these were good candles. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, it's less about how good that line was, and it's that stress of breaking versus just being over, and why we also wait for confirmation after that first break, right? Specifically, we're going to talk about today, and let me come into the hourly, all right? I live in LA. I'm on the West Coast, right? So 10 a.m., right? That's when I saw today's post. 10, 11 is 1 o'clock Eastern. Let's go to the 15 minutes. I don't know why it's not showing me. You can see it. even around 1 o'clock, it was somewhere around there. We hadn't really dropped that hard just yet. It was a little bit after where we end up losing that 200 moving average and going a lot lower than we were. But believe me, I thought that this was actually looking good, and I know when I woke up, I saw it was even higher, right? So, man, it's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing, but this is just another example of really two things. All right. The first one is I feel like every single last earnings has been badly, I almost said the wording incorrectly, has been badly perceived by the market despite most of us loving it, right? When you go back 3 months from September, it was this June little doji right here. When I go back next couple months, I think it was these little candles right here. I think it was actually like this doji right here, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, since earnings, we drop. Since earnings, we drop. Let's just go back another couple 3 months. It was probably give or take up here. Since earnings, we drop, right? Like it's annoying that we keep seeing it, but it's a big echo of something I always say. We're here to assume until the charts tell me assume differently, right? And in a lot of ways, you kind of were expecting good earnings because Raj and the team are delivering, but I gotta believe a little bit of you was like, is the market gonna like it too? Because I mean, I know the last 4 to 5, I've been a broken record and I've said this exact same thing. And I think I've made dedicated videos on these earnings for high tide on the last ones too. You know what I mean? So annoying is one thing. Blaming manipulation is a different thing. Trying to put a reason to all this silliness is, I think, as bad as blaming manipulation. You know what I mean? So look, today was a single candle. All right, one of two things needs to happen tomorrow. Either we're going to close over this one. We're going to close at $2.20 USD. That's the lowest I'm willing to accept. Otherwise, we're dropping down here. We're going to drop to 205. I think 205 or 220 USD is my call for tomorrow. It is either going to confirm bad reaction, or we're going to just have a little bit of uncertainty, indecision, and we'll see from there. I don't know if Powell doing rate stuff is going to really do anything to this chart. I'll be real honest with you. I think we're looking for this earnings reaction. One last time. I'm not even looking at the weekly chart. Right now, this is a very much a daily chart. I need to know if we're about to lose this last line and head down, or if we're actually going to try to hold and maybe break on up right now. That's basically what we're looking for, and this will get answered by the end of the week if I had to guess. One last time. I am an educated human. I really am. I sincerely, in my educated head, really believe this was good. I'll even say great. This was great earnings. The last one I remember saying was great earnings. I don't care what I think. I care what the market thinks, and I'm here to ride the wave up or avoid the avalanche down. No emotion, nothing in between. You know what I mean? If you're long and strong, oh man, it's so frustrating because like they're doing the job, right? They're not telling you we've lied, we've changed, we're doing worse, we're sucking. They keep telling you good things. The market needs to figure it out, and I mean waiting for it can be a difficult thing at times, but hey, long and strong, ignore the news. It's much easier said than done, but hey, I'm never here to say buy, sell, hold, even when I'm giving good, bad, or in between news. All right, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Oh, I appreciate you so much.